Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Ganganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. This work that we are going to talk about is one of the most sacred dialogues because it happens between two enlightened beings. One is Ashtavakra, the other is King Janaka, which was Ashtavakra's disciple. So in it you will have a glimpse of the instruction of an enlightened being so that you can achieve liberation, and also the vision of how a liberated being stands, acts, what is his experience. So pay attention to these teachings, fill your heart with surrender, devotion, sacredness, because that is the way to enjoy it the most. May it blossom in your heart. May you also find liberation. So moving on, Ashtavakra Samhita, 15th chapter, knowledge of the self. Now we're moving on to the 11th verse. So in you, who are the infinite ocean, let the waves of the universe rise and fall according to their own nature. That means no gain or loss to you. So you as the infinite ocean where the whole universe, all the universes rise and fall like waves in yourself. They rise from you and collapse in you again. So that means no gain or loss. Gain or loss only exists when there's identification with the body-mind. As you identify with the infinite ocean of consciousness, of existence, of identity, then there is no gain or loss to you. So he's telling you clearly, look, all of these phenomena, they rise and collapse in you. Rise from you, collapse from you. You remain the same, there's no gain or loss. So let go of all these phenomena. Take no care of them. My child, you are pure intelligence itself. This universe is nothing different from you. Therefore, how and where can anyone have the idea of acceptance and rejection? So this universe is nothing different from you because you are pure intelligence. So all this universe, it is you alone. There's nothing else apart from you. Therefore, how and where can anyone have the idea of acceptance and rejection? So acceptance and rejection implies that there is someone else besides you. There are things besides you. When they do not exist, how can rejection and acceptance exist? It only exists when you're identified with the body, when you believe that you are a physical body, a body-mind, and that there are others besides you. In this illusion, then acceptance, rejection, they are part of life. But this is what Ashtavakra is saying. You are pure intelligence itself. You are the ocean from where all these waves as universe rise and fall, rise and fall. So when you know yourself as the self, all these distinctions of good, bad, right, wrong, all this collapses. So you can tap in, get out from this identification with the body-mind and identifying with that infinite ocean of consciousness. From where will there be birth, action, and even egoism for you who are one, immutable, calm, stainless, and pure consciousness? So birth, action, egoism, they pertain to the body-mind, to the individual. How can there be in you who are the one, who is the self, when nothing else is besides you, beyond you, apart from you? How can there be these distinctions, these notions of individuality and separateness? So you are the one, immutable, calm, stainless, and pure consciousness. You are not a phenomenon. You alone appear as whatever you perceive. Do bracelets, armlets, and anklets appear different from gold? Only you exist, only the self exists. So whatever from that particular body you are perceiving, it is yourself that you are perceiving. There's no others, there's just you. There's no things, there's just you. And he is giving the comparison with the bracelets, anklets, different forms, but same substance, which is gold. Completely give up such distinctions as I and he. I am not this. Consider all as the self and be desireless and happy. So all these distinctions, they help. Yes, of course, they are very good. But for what I can perceive, Ashtavakra is moving on into his teaching. His teaching is becoming higher and higher. So first he talks about purity of the intellect. And prior to that, in the beginning of the Ashtavakra Samhita, he speaks about the preconditions, the qualifications, and the means to attain these qualifications. All spiritual disciplines, detachment, renunciation, all of this. Now he's moving higher and higher into his teaching. And that means that for this higher teaching, the results of these purifications have to be there, or else they will not be possible. So completely give up such distinctions as I am he, I am that. So first he is telling you are the infinite ocean. So abide by that. You are not the body. Cut identification with the body. Now he is going beyond that. And he is saying that give up such distinctions as I am he, or I am not this, the body. I am he, the self, God, or I'm not this, I'm not the body. So stop using those distinctions, give up those distinctions, consider all as the self and be desireless and happy. Because the distinction is born of ignorance, but it is a need in the beginning and during this time of purification and this process of cutting identification with the body. It is a must, it is a need. And as purification increases, as it becomes possible to remain silent in that silent space without flinching attention, then these distinctions can be cut loose. Consider all the self and be desireless. So this desireless, absence of desire, this is a high state already. and completely desireless, it is self-realization. As Ashtavakra has also been pointing. It is through your ignorance alone that the universe exists. In reality, you are one. There is no individual self or supreme self other than you. So these concepts of individual self, supreme self, this is for the ignorant one, to give him a perception that there's something beyond his own existence. And these are terms to make a distinction with the illusion one, the illuded one, and the real one. So these are just terms. So it is through your ignorance alone that the universe exists, because in reality it doesn't exist. By your belief that you are the body-mind, everything takes place, apparently. But it's not real. So it is real for you because you are in ignorance about your real self. So you are the one, that which transcends duality. So no individual and no supreme, just you, and you are absolute. One who knows for certain that this universe is but an illusion and a nothing becomes desireless and pure intelligence and finds peace as if nothing exists. So this one who can know for certain is the self-realized one. But a very high seeker, a pure seeker, by faith in the scriptures and in the Guru, can embrace this vision, believe it, and act as much as possible according to it. And becomes desireless. He renounces all desires that arise by the firm belief in the Guru's words. He puts aside those needs that arise. And finds peace as if nothing exists. So all turmoils are put aside by this strong belief. And eventually that leads to self-realization. In the ocean of the world, one only was, is, and will be. You have neither bondage nor liberation. Live contented and happily. So now he is talking about the reality. So in the ocean of the world, in the ocean of pure existence, of the self, one only was, is, and will be. There's neither past, present, or future. So these are terms he is using just to give this understanding. You have neither bondage nor liberation because you transcend both. You are beyond the pairs of opposites. So there's no such thing in reality. Live contented and happily. So this live contented, it may be interpreted as live a worldly life, contented with what comes, but this is a spiritual context. This is a high seeker of truth, a high level seeker of truth. So he is on the verge of breaking with desires. This is a high level. Now, live contented and happily is live in that peace, in that present moment, in that tuning with your real self. And happily. dwelling in your own blissful nature. O pure intelligence, do not disturb your mind with affirmations and negations. Be calm and abide happily in your own self, which is bliss itself. So here, there's glimpses already, there's tuning with the self. It's already happening. It's already possible to this level of seeker. So, O pure intelligence, do not disturb your mind with affirmations and negations, because this brings the mind to one-pointedness again. So it is tuning with the self, in the self, is being absorbed and making it one-pointed. It is working against this higher aspect. So if you are being able to tune now, to be absorbed, so now it's not, now you have to let go of these affirmations or negations, because this brings the mind to one-pointed. And it's important to make this clear distinction, because beginner seekers look at this, okay, so no affirmations, no negations, and they continue with their normal life, worldly life. And it's not the case. A meditation technique is very important. And when silence has been achieved, when there's no more worldly life, worldly desires, and silence is stable, strong, easily accessed, then this meditation technique that makes the mind one-pointed becomes not good. It needs to evolve. So it's the same process. Be calm and abide happily in your own self, which is bliss itself. So at this point, cut everything that disturbs this tuning with the self, this absorbing into the self. Whatever makes the mind one-pointed, let it go and remain there continuously. And in the final state, completely give up even contemplation and hold nothing in your mind. You are verily the self free. What will you do by thinking? So, again, because a lot of confusion with these last verses. A beginner looks at this, so I'll let go meditation, contemplation, let go of everything, and what is left? Normal life, with worldly goals, worldly worries, and all of that. At this level, there's nothing worldly about it. There's no worldly life, no worldly worries, nothing of that. So here it is coming and going, this being absorbed into the self, coming to normal consciousness, whatever that means, and going back again and taking away everything that disturbs this absorption to remain, to be continuous. So even contemplation requires something beyond you, but at this level, that presence is strong and you get absorbed easily. And whatever is there of contemplation, it makes the mind one-pointed again. So it brings it back from that. So at this level, hold nothing in your mind. Just let it be absorbed in the self. Because you are verily the self, free, what will you do by thinking? So being absorbed in the self, it's like that example, that metaphor that says the puppet of salt that dives into the ocean and dissolves in it. It's more or less the same. Letting the mind be absorbed into the self will dissolve the mind and all its layers. So hold nothing in your mind, nothing that disturbs that absorption. and nothing that maintains even a trace of duality. Okay.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.